Ex-FBI official Marcus Thomas made a shocking claim in an article published in the Washington Post this week. He asserted that the FBI can, through the use of malware sent to the email addresses of those under investigation, secretly switch on laptop cameras without triggering a warning light. Thomas added, however, that this practice is only used in terrorism cases or the most serious criminal investigations. Civil liberties advocates were horrified by this claim, due in no small part to the practice's unfortunate resemblance to the surveillance methods of the totalitarian society in George Orwell's dystopian novel 1984. Not everyone was disturbed by Thomas's revelation, however. Bree Sharp, for instance, was pleased by the news, as it leaves open the possibility that David Duchovny has been watching her after all. The world mourned the death of South African activist and former President Nelson Mandela, who passed away this Thursday. The former president, who led the struggle against apartheid in his nation prior to his holding of that office, died at the age of 95. Politicians across the world issued statements lamenting the loss of Mandela, such as current South African President Jacob Zuma. "Our nation has lost its greatest son. Our people have lost a father," he said. Other non-political individuals have expressed their belief that God called two angels, Mandela and Fast and Furious star Paul Walker, who also died in a car accident this week, to heaven, suggesting Walker's driver and everybody else who died this week went to hell. Business Insider reports Pope Francis called for the renewal of the Roman Catholic Church and attacked unfettered capitalism as a new tyranny, urging global leaders to fight poverty and growing inequality in the first major work he has authored alone as pontiff. In it, Francis went far further than previous comments, criticizing the global economic system, attacking the idolatry of money, and beseeching politicians to guarantee all citizens dignified work, education, and healthcare. Just as the commandment, "Thou shalt not kill," sets a clear limit in order to safeguard the value of human life, today we also have to say, "Thou shalt not," to an economy of exclusion and inequality. Such an economy kills. The man believed to be worth billions of dollars thundered from his shiny gold throne. NBC aired a live performance of the Rodgers and Hammerstein musical The Sound of Music on Thursday night. The televised adaptation starred country singer Carrie Underwood as Maria Von Trapp and True Blood actor Stephen Moyer as Captain Von Trapp. The network went out of its way to explain that the performance was based directly on the musical and not the film adaptation starring Julie Andrews. Reception was mixed, with critics stating that although Underwood's singing was excellent, her acting left much to be desired. Regardless, the program was a ratings hit for NBC, which is hastily moving on to its next project, a live performance of Stephen Sondheim's Pacific Overtures, starring Saya as Commodore Perry and Ken Jeong as the Shogun's mother. People magazine reports that singer Susan Boyle has been diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome, a form of autism, and feels relief at finally having the right label for her condition. Boyle told the Observer newspaper that she saw a specialist a year ago, who told her she had Asperger's and an above-average IQ. "I had always known that I have had an unfair label put upon me," Boyle said. "Now I have a clearer understanding of what's wrong, and I feel relieved and a bit more relaxed about myself." She continued before the reporter tested her claim by throwing a box full of matches on the floor and asking her to see how many there were. The Daily Bruin reports University of California President Janet Napolitano, actress Eva Longoria, and other prominent members of the Latino community participated in a panel about Latinos and their educational prospects on Monday. A few protesters were also present in the audience and briefly interrupted the discussion, who called on Napolitano to resign and asked questions regarding her work as Secretary of Homeland Security before she was appointed as UC President earlier this year. The protesters were escorted outside the auditorium, and the discussion continued. All the protesters outside the auditorium continued chanting throughout the event. "She's the president of the University of California. She's not the head of immigration enforcement anymore," said UC spokesperson Steve Montiel, invoking the unimpeachable Bush administration defense, where one can't be held accountable for actions they carried out while in a position they no longer occupy. And before we go, Speaker of the House John Boehner's name is pronounced Boner. I'm sorry, that's not news. That's a reminder.